Welcome to the Keep the Faith podcast. I'm your host, Tori, and I have a wonderful guest with me today, Miss DeZiya. What's up?
What's up with you?
And I meant to tell you before we went live that if you following the Keep the Faith page, that you can share it to your personal page. Just make sure your volume is turned down so there's not feedback. If you want to share it to your personal page, but what we're gonna do before we get started, just like I was telling Desire, there has been death after death after death this past week. So I want to take a moment of silence. I don't want to call out names because I don't want to get super emotional, but to all the families in Darlington, surrounding areas, whether it was from gun violence, COVID, or natural death, I just want to say my heart is going out to all of the bereaved families. And I did a post earlier today. Sometimes it's hard to accept, especially when death occurs and is unexpected. Like you can just see someone 1 minute and the next minute that they are not here. So that's the reason why at last minute I told Desire, I said, I think we're going to change the topic because there has been so much death that has been occurring over the past week. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a first few minutes. I want to take a moment of silence. And like I said, my heart is going out to all the bereaved families. Like I said, I don't want to call out names because I don't want to get emotional, but I want to dedicate this show to all bereaved families everywhere. Darlington, my small town of Darlington, and all surrounding areas, wherever you may be, if you're experiencing grief. I also like to say this: there is no time frame on grief. Allow yourself the necessary time it takes for you to grieve.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a moment of silence. Thank you. And with that being said, before we get started, Desire is in the studio. Desire, before we get the topic is actually going to be, because there has been so much death, we want to focus on the topic is going to be when to let go, loving people while they're still here. Because a lot of times we can say things to people, we can assume things, and we don't know what a person may be going through. So I want you to love on people while they're here, give them their flowers while they're still here. Just love on people. But before we get into the topic at hand, Desire, tell everyone a little bit about yourself. Those that don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is DeZiya Cartel. I am originally from Montego Bay, Jamaica. I moved here when I was 7 years old. As of right now, I am, back and forth with my career, doing things to get myself situated and stable with that. I've been an independent artist now going on 2 years. I've been doing music in general for 7 years. Um, so it's been ups and downs with that. Uh, I am 26 years old and I am here to inspire all young women of all colors, of all race, of everything. I am here to inspire and encourage young women, old women. Hey, I'm all for empowering just you know, our people.
And you said you've been doing it for 7 years?
Yes.
And you're 26?
Yes.
And you've been doing it for 7 years?
Yes.
So when you were growing up as a little girl, is music something that was always something that you wanted to do?
Yes, it is. Ever since I was little, like I could be in class or I could be on the playground playing, and to me, all I see and hear is music. Everything to me makes a sound, makes a rhythm, makes a beat. And to other people, it's weird.
No.
But I've always been that person. So like no matter what I've done in life, whether it was college, I also was in the military as well. Whether it was military or what, like music was just always on my mind. I can never shake it, and it's just something that always it fills me. So
And music is also healing, as a matter of fact. Now, we're going to talk about today the purpose of letting go. A lot of times we go through situations, whether it be with personal relationships, friendships, whatever it may be. A lot of times we go through things in life and we got to learn how to let things go. A lot of times we hold grudges and the grudges need to be let go. And then a lot of time we have to understand that when we ask God to remove people, that we have to be cognizant and be, a lot of times we're not ready for the people that he removes.
Yeah.
When we ask him to remove people, we're not ready. And this is Coco say, my girl, I'm a cray. I want to show you that while we were starting. But yeah, it is so important that we let things go, because so many times we hold on to grudges. And it's crazy that you have some people that are holding on to stuff from high school.
Oh yes.
It is so crazy that we do that. But I think it's important that you let things go, because like I was saying prior to us coming on the air last week, I heard about, ever since Sunday, it just seemed like every day that I woke up, whether it be in the morning or in the evening, this person died. I even got the last phone call last night. So I'm just like, really? I
Yeah.
mean, it just seemed like death after death. And like I said, there's different reasons, some from COVID, some from gun violence, some from, just dying, and some are, unexpected. It were car accidents as well. So it's been a very turbulent week. Hey, Constance. Constance says hello as well.
Hello,
So
hello, hello. And shout out to you, my girl Davis.
yeah, we call her. Well, I don't know if I was supposed to say her name on. I don't know if I was supposed to say her name, but we call, what we call you at church. But like I said, we have to celebrate people while they're here, and just let things go,
Yeah.
because a lot of times, and me, I think one of the bad things one of the bad habits I have is when I go through stuff, I shut down. And a lot of times when I shut down, people take it the wrong way. But it's nothing, it's just what I do if I'm going through a grieving process, or I mean, it's just something that I do. But to those that reached out to me, that maybe, and I'm addressing this on the show, because there have been people that reached out to me and they were upset because I wasn't, like I said, I shut down bad. And I had
too.
some people to get upset because I did that, but that's just something that I do. People that know me know that that's what I do, but it's not healthy. A lot of times it's not healthy that I do that, but it's just something that I do. I go through a phase where I don't answer the phone. I don't answer I just shut down and just turn my phone on silent and just, whatever. But like I said, and you do that too?
Yes.
We got to do
Yes.
better.
Yes, we do. I do that same thing when I'm going through grieving or whatever. I intend to, just shut down and go in myself and try to, for me, it's my fear of someone saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. So for me, I go into myself and I try to figure it out myself, and I try to work through it myself, and I come out when I'm ready. And that's I mean, it's not a great thing at all, but definitely it can lead you into a depression. It could lead you deeper and deeper into a depression, because the more and more things happen and you're just continuing to shut down and shut down and shut down, and you fall back and you fall back from the world and from the people that are trying to, maybe reach out to you, or uh that are trying to show you some type of love. And of course they're going to take it as you're just being mean, or selfish, or whatever the case may be. But that's definitely something, yeah, to work on, because you don't want to continue to go into a depression.
Because it's a
Yes.
cycle for me, and you're absolutely right. It can lead to depression. And Miss Tammy said, "Is it not healthy?" Tammy, I know it's not healthy. We're gonna work on it. I know for me, like I can go days without answering my phone. And then a crazy thing happened, and I'm just being transparent. Yesterday, after church was so good yesterday. So big shout out to my Strong Tower family. Church was so good yesterday. But this is like, after church, I got attacked from people that I care about. I mean, people that I love. And it just, I had this glow when I left church. But I allowed what people did, I allowed what people said to change my whole day.
Yeah.
And when I allowed that, honestly, when I went in that mood, I just shut down again. I was trying to come out after church yesterday, but I shut down again. And then I slept all day.
Mhm.
When I woke up, it was probably like 10, and I thought it was the next day, but that's just how long I slept.
Mhm.
And it's like a lot of times you get to that point where you're shutting everything down, and I know for me, I sleep a lot.
Mhm.
It's not a good thing, but that's another thing that we have to stop doing as well. We have to stop allowing people to change our entire mood,
Yes.
and that's what I did yesterday.
Yes.
I was so hurt. Yes, I mean, I don't know. I can't even explain it. Yesterday was just, people just took me out of my element yesterday. So, and Tammy talking about she's rolling her eyes because Tammy, she holds me accountable. She's one of those people. She'll call me like, Tori, I hadn't heard from you in a couple of days.
Right.
So she's one of those people that calls me out. Hi, Miss Deborah. And Miss Deborah is one of my church members as well. But it's something that I have been doing for years. I
Right.
don't do it as bad, but I still do it bad. Now, there was a time before I had my son,
Mhm.
I would keep my phone off. And this is bad to say, and I hate to even say this out loud, but before I had my son, I would cut my phone off for 2, maybe 3 weeks at a time.
Mm.
And it was crazy because I would stay in my room, especially in college. I would stay in my room and people would knock on my door and I wouldn't answer my door. They didn't know if I was in there. They didn't know if I was alive, or,
Right.
I was very bad about that, but I'm working on it. But it's just something that's just my way of dealing with life.
Right.
Because everything that we go through in this thing called life, we can't share with everybody. We have to be careful
Right.
what we share with
Right.
people. But I just want people to just, like I said, learn to let things grow. And like when people hurt me, I don't hold on to it like I used to. I used to hold on things. I used to hold on things for days, but now I let it go.
Yeah.
But here's another thing that I do though. When I let it go, I evaluate how do I need to adjust, if I need to adjust according to this person.
Mhm.
I pay attention to who values me, who make me feel like I'm worthy. I pay attention to energy because sometimes you can be around people and your whole energy can shift.
Right.
And like I said, this past week was very difficult for me, but people that don't really know me, they don't understand when I shut down. That's just something that I do. And like I said, it's something that I'm gonna work on. But what is your take on what are some of the things that you do as far as when we need to let things go? Like say somebody hurt you or did something to wrong you. What are some things that you do to be able to let some stuff go? Because sometimes people hurt us and you want to hold on and you don't want to forgive, but you got to forgive. We got to grant them grace like God gives us grace. What are some of the things that you do in order to let some things go?
Well, first, of course, I put it into a song. I'll write a song to get everything off my chest in general. And then as far as my actions to actually, move forward, of course, I'm just the person where if someone has done something to me and it has hurt me to the point where I had to go within myself, I had to go into my own little corner or something, like I just cut them off. And maybe that's not a good thing, but I will ghost. I will ghost someone. Yes, I will.
I'll do that.
I will ghost them. They will never ever hear from me again, ever. And that's not a good thing as well. And to this day, I have people that have wronged me and still reach out to me, and I don't respond because it's for me. You can only be hurt so much and you can only take so much as a person, and when you feel as if it's jeopardizing you and your health and your happiness in general, something gotta go. And my happiness is not gonna go and my health is not gonna go, so whoever the person may be, they have to go. So for me, I cut them off, I write a song, and then I keep it pushing.
Wow. And that I actually, while you write songs, I do poetry. Poetry is one of my things that I use to heal. Well, let me say this. I heard someone use this quote the other day and it makes so much sense. They said there's a difference between coping and healing.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally
It
different. You may
is.
do
It
something,
definitely is.
yeah, you may do something to cope, but when you're coping, are you actually allowing yourself the time necessary to heal?
Mm.
Because sometimes we float through life, we're just coping,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to ask yourself, am I really healing?
Right.
When you're not healing, you're just simply coping. And I heard that quote. I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense because we do a lot of things to cope. Like for me, and I shared this before. I say this I've said this before. Like when I was younger, alcohol was a coping
Mm.
mechanism for me.
Mm.
I've even situations, people that I've dated, sex was a coping mechanism.
Wow.
One of my coping mechanisms still, as of this morning, is eating. Eating is a
Wow.
coping mechanism for me, but I have to ask myself daily, am I allowing myself the time necessary to heal?
Right.
And just like we're talking about the grief process, a lot of times, and I did a post today and I said that sometimes, especially when the death comes unexpectedly, we don't know how to accept it. Because
Right.
it took me almost, I want to say 20 years to accept the death that occurred, that happened. It was gun violence. And
Mm.
it took me nearly, actually a little over 20 years because I was 19 when it happened. And I just turned 45 on the 10th of this month. So it took me over 20 years to accept that particular death because it was somebody that I cared about and it was somebody that was concerned about me. And I encouraged them to go to a particular party. I was on campus in college and I encouraged them to go to a party. And when they went to this party, they was murdered. And the crazy thing about it, the bullet wasn't meant for them. So I blame myself
Mm.
for their death. I blame myself because they called me repeatedly and said, Tori, let me hang out with you. And I'm like, nah, go to the party. But they went to the party. And guess what? They're not here. So I blame myself for a long time. And like I said, I'm just getting to a point where I can accept it. And I had one of my friends ask me yesterday, she was like saying, why is it that some people that get COVID, why some of them survive and some go completely just die?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that right before we came to the studio. And my thing is, I feel like when God got more use of you,
Mm.
he's going to give you what you need to fight it.
Yep.
And those that have transitioned, however they may have transitioned, I feel like their work was done.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's a good way of looking at things, but that's what I had to tell myself
Yeah.
because I was pondering that same question. Like, why? That is true.
Yeah.
Because there's some people, and I'll say this, and I'm not trying to be politically correct or anything, but there's some people that are vaccinated, some people that are not. There's some people that are vaccinated that they still get sick.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people that are not vaccinated, they don't get as sick. So I'm just a little confused when it comes to that because I've seen both sides, but we ain't gonna get into that debate because we ain't trying to go there. But that was
Right, and
another thing that I was thinking
and
about as well.
I feel somewhat the same as you with some people they make it and some people they don't. And for me, I'm kind of leaning towards the maybe their work here is done. And I'm not sure, but I've always heard that in this life, we're just passing through, and we're just in this skin. And when we move on to the next dimension or life or world or whatever it may be, we don't even have any remembrance of this life or
Mhm.
of what's going on now. So when I believe that when we are done here, yes, we move on. And for those that have passed from, COVID and everything, I really do believe, you know, their job is done. Cause it's just no way, we've had a lot of things to come,
Mhm.
all kind of sicknesses, all kind of viruses, all kind of things that came, and it's just something about this one.
Mm.
So, I mean, there's a reason in the season.
Right. And a lot of people feel as though, and I'm there too, where we live in everything the Bible. If you read your Bible, the Bible is being fulfilled. And Constance said she was thinking the same thing. Like their work is done, even though, like I said, in some cases it's so hard to accept. Because, like I said, this week has been rough, and I'm just really bad about just going into a shell. I'm bad about, and here's the other thing too.
Mhm.
when we go back to, like I said, the topic is letting go, loving people while they're here. One of the other things that I do that I should not do, if you do something, whether it be your actions or your words or what it may have you, I don't always address it. And not that everything needs to be addressed, but sometimes when I don't address it, what it's doing is literally eating me up inside.
Mhm.
Because by me not addressing it, guess what? You're going to keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And you're going to keep hurting me. You're going to keep saying things or doing things to hurt me. But by me not addressing it and letting you know, well, this hurts me, then you're going to keep doing it because you think it's okay.
Right.
So I'm just, that was another thing that I need to work on as well. But like I said,
I definitely I dealt with that as well, in general of people that may, like you say, continue to do something that hurts you or just make you feel uneasy. And for me, I've always been the person that I feel like life is simple. If we have a problem, let's sit down and let's talk about it. Or if something is going on that you don't like or that I don't like, just say something and move forward. And I've dealt with that a lot of biting my tongue or not saying nothing because I don't want to cause any ill feelings or I don't want no one to hate me or whatever the case may be. And that's something that, it can eat you up. It can cause more of the going into yourself and shutting off from the world. Like it just it adds to that. So
it does. It does. And Tammy says she says she agrees. And one thing, like you said, you address it. I don't always address things. Sometimes I let things fester, and it gets to the point where you let it fester and you explode.
yeah.
And that was one of the things that happened over the weekend as well. I was letting things fester, and I just had a smile on my face,
Hmm.
but I was hurting
Right.
like really, really bad. And Constance says more damage than good.
Yes. Yes. That's definitely more damage because when you allow things to just pile up and pile up, it eventually it has to come out,
It does.
it eventually it it fills you and you
Hmm.
have room for nothing else.
Right.
And you can't receive any blessings, you can't receive any positivity, you can't receive anything coming your way because you have no room.
Right. And so many times we block our blessings. I know I have blocked my blessings by shutting down from people. And I also want to say hello to my cousin, Karen. She's watching. She says, "Good evening, good people." She said, "Hi, cousin." So, hey, Karen.
Hi Karen, how are you?
So it's like I said, a lot of times people will say things and do things to hurt you. And I'm a very forgiving person, but I feel like, some people take advantage of that
Hmm.
because I forgive a lot, because I love hard, because I have a huge heart.
Heart, yeah.
People take advantage of that. But it's like to the point now where sometimes I just, sometimes I just been wanting to give up. And I'm and I'm being honest and being transparent. There's days where I want to give, and I can be the most encouraging person, but there are days where I want to give up, and I have to think to myself, Kadarius, my son, he needs you. How can you be encouraging him when you're not able to encourage yourself? How can you be encouraging others when you need to encourage yourself? And yesterday was one of those days where I needed encouragement for myself. And like I said, I was in a good mood until after, after. So I just went into like a very bad space yesterday.
Mhm.
And I'm still not completely over that space,
Mhm.
but it's getting better. But it's hard. It's hard to how do I say it? It's hard to for people that you expect to see you that don't see you. They're looking right at you, but they still don't see you. You
Mm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there are people that see you that you think don't see you. They
Hmm.
see your value and they see your worth, but you don't expect them to because you're so busy expecting this person over here
Hmm.
or people you grew up with or family. You expect them to see you for who you are. And it's like there's people that can just meet you and they could tell you your attributes. They could tell you how valuable, and yesterday was a difficult day for me. I'm gonna just be honest. Yesterday was difficult. It was difficult.
I'm sorry you had a bad day yesterday.
It was
Yeah.
horrible. It was horrible yesterday. Like I said, it was good until after church. After church, it went to the left. So I slept the rest of the day.
Beyonce to the left, honey. Okay.
But like I said, I have to stop allowing things, situations, and people to take me out of my zone. So
Right.
it is what it is. So, but yeah. And we want to talk about also about, you know, giving people their flowers while they're still here.
Mm.
It is so important that you give people their flowers while they're still here. And like I said, letting go is one of the things that some people won't do. Like I have somebody was just telling me yesterday, well, they did this, so they did that. But I'm like, you gotta forgive. But I don't want to forgive. But when you don't forgive, how can you expect God to forgive you for certain things that you've done?
True.
So
That's
I'm
true.
just like, you have got to forgive. So, but it's just one of those things. I like to be a light in people's lives, and some people will dim your light if you allow them to.
Definitely.
So
Yes.
I'm learning not to allow my light to be dim, but I want to show people that I love them while they're here. And also, what are some of the things when you're writing and writing your music? Is there anything that have you done any songs to like dedicate to someone that may have passed on or anything of that nature, or songs to give people their flowers while they're still here?
I haven't written any songs dedicated to anyone that has passed or anything,
Mhm.
but I do spoken words, and I intend to sometimes make those spoken words into
Yeah.
songs. So majority of anything that I have done for anyone that's passed or you know is a spoken word. So
Okay. I didn't know you do spoken word. I would love to hear some of your spoken word because I do poetry. Like I said,
right,
poetry is one of those things that I do to allow myself to heal.
right,
And like I said, I write my best poetry when I'm going through.
hmm,
Like yesterday, instead of me going to sleep, I just should have picked up the pen and start writing. And here's the other thing I want to say to people: when you go through things, whether it's good or bad, keep yourself a journal
oh yes,
and journal everything. That was one of the things that I would do. Get up early in the morning. I still get up early in the morning, like 5 a.m., and do worship. But I haven't been journaling like I should. We have to journal so we can channel those moments, whether it be good or bad. And we have to recognize our triggers as well, because there's going to be certain things that's going to trigger
triggering,
us.
yeah,
That's going to take us to a place. Like I said, yesterday was really bad, really
hmm,
bad. It went from good to bad for me, and I plan not to allow myself to get to that point again. But
right,
like I said, and there's another thing that I noticed, that the sadness sometimes can overwhelm me.
yeah,
With all the death, the sadness can overwhelm me as well. But let's take a shift, and we're gonna come back to celebrating people. Let's talk about your music. Let's talk about like where can people, and we're going to also at the end of the podcast we're going to tell other people your platform as well. But tell us a little bit about your music. One of your songs I love is it Work Your Body? I noticed the Keep the Faith podcast, but I love that song. That's Work Your Body. So what inspires you to write certain songs that you write?
well, work your body. I had a friend, and she was a person that dealt with being embarrassed and feeling some type of way because of her size or because of her body or whatever. She don't got this look or that look, and I will always tell her, like, you don't have to worry about that. You just be comfortable in your skin, because at the end of the day, there'll never be another you.
Right, right.
So make a statement with you, the person
Right.
that you have.
Right.
And so that is what actually inspired Work Your Body, because that song is for women of all sizes, colors, just to be free and to, when you turn it on, it makes you want to move. It makes you want to look in the mirror and get sexy. And so that's the whole inspiration behind Work Your Body.
And there was another one. Oh God, I should have wrote the title. There was another one you did as well that was very inspirational as
There's
well.
Rehabilitation.
Did you release that one?
Yes. And Dream Girl. I released that one.
Dream Girl.
Yes.
I think that's the one I'm thinking about. Dream Girl. Dream Girl is a very nice song. So guys, I want you, if you haven't heard DeZiya's music, I want you to definitely look her up. Because her music is amazing. I love your music. And then
Thank
and
you
the
so
thing
much.
about you too that I've noticed that from the time I've met you, you've always been such a positive person. You've always been such a positive light. And like I said, it's so important for us to be positive all the time. It's time out for the negativity.
Yeah.
There's too much of the negativity.
Yeah.
Too much of the negativity.
Yeah,
So
and I believe in, in the Bible it speaks of power of life and death being in the tongue. So if you speak positive all the time, you just bring life to positivity. So all the negative things that are being said, I mean, you wonder why it's so much negative things in the world, so much negative people. That's because people give life to negativity versus
right.
speaking more positive.
Right. And it doesn't cost you anything to be kind. And I teach my son all the time that, there's going to be people that are going to mistreat you. They're going to say bad things. They're going to do bad things.
Yeah.
But you have to still treat them with kindness, treat them with love, regardless of what. And like I said, we have to love each other while we're still here. We have to never and then this is the other thing I want to go back to when you said that you cut people off. I'm really bad about cutting people off. And
Yes.
here's the thing, and I say this often, we have to be mindful of the people that you allow into your life.
Yes.
And you have to know who to be patient with
Mm-hmm.
and who to detach from. So I do believe that that's something that we have to be mindful of. And you have to look at people as liabilities and assets. What is this person adding to me?
Yes.
If they draining me or are they giving me life? Are they bringing out the best in me or are they bringing out the worst in me? You have to pay attention to that as well. And I say this all the time. A lot of times there are going to be people, no matter who it is, they're going to bring out the worst in you.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have to be mindful of that and just pay attention.
Yeah. Because what you don't want to happen is for everyone to see, that bad side of you. And now everyone is like, oh, a Tori is, woo.
Right.
She is horrible. So you
But
definitely have to be mindful. I've been in situations where, I'm doing things for myself, or I am, in front of people that, I intend to bring positive vibes to, and I've had people that try to come and get in between that and try to, take me out of character and, try to pretty much embarrass me or try to make me get angry. You know what I'm saying? So, people can see this bad side of me.
right, right.
And, people like that, definitely they have to go.
And
They have to go.
how do you deal with like being an artist? They're gonna have situations. I'm pretty sure you had situations where people try to bring out the bad in you, and especially when you're in public. How do you
Yes.
keep that? How do you keep that in check sometimes when you're in public and you have to, keep your composure where you want to go off, you know what I mean? But you have to keep your composure at all times because you have to realize when you're in the public eye, people are constantly watching. They're constantly waiting for you to mess up, constantly.
Yes. Um, for the most part, I just learned to keep my mouth closed in general. When someone tries to take me out of character in public, things can be handled accordingly. You don't always have to, be all rah rah or, loud and disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
You can give people short, simple, and sweet words,
Hmm.
just to let them know that you mean business.
Right.
So, for me, I've been just allowing people to know that, hey, I got more to lose than you do. So,
Right. Right.
yeah, it's,
That's that part right there. You have more to lose than they do.
yeah.
And that's why a
So,
lot of people will try you.
yeah, I have way more to lose than them. So, I just let them know it's not the time and it's not the place.
Right.
But things can get handled
Right.
later on.
Right. And what are some of the things that you do, whether it be for friends, family? What are some of the things you may do to celebrate people while they're here?
I like I'm a person where I like to spend time with people. One of my this lady that I considered my grandmother. She she was bedridden, and just spending time watching movies, watching TV, eating, just hanging out in general. For me, it's all about time. It's not about money. It's not about how much you can do for me or do for someone. It's just all about time. Whether it's a conversation on the phone or a text message, or like I say, watching TV or something. For me, with people that I love, that's all I want. Just 5 minutes, if that.
Right.
You
And it
know.
could be something so simple like going out to eat. It could be going out to eat,
Yeah.
going out to movies. And for me, I just like my thing now. I love karaoke. Everybody
Yeah.
that knows me know I love
Yeah.
karaoke. So if you come hang out with me on a Friday night karaoke, that just mean the world to me.
Yeah.
Come out and see my non-singing self. That means the world to me. So like I said, I just want everybody to just love on each other
Mhm.
and let things go and just, cherish each moment because tomorrow is not
Not
promised.
promise.
Like in the blink of an eye, a
Yes.
person could be gone. Like I'm talking to you now. You get called Tori, Tori, it just things happen so fast.
Yes. Yes.
Things are happening so fast. And I mean, it's been a whirlwind. That's why I'm at a loss. There has been so much this week that I'm just kind of like at a loss for words. But it's just I just want people to just cherish people while they're here.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to say, well, I'm real big on being mindful of the very last thing you say to a person.
Mm.
And something happens to that person and you may not even be able to apologize. Like yesterday, like I said, I was very hurt yesterday and I'm thinking, what if something, would have happened to me and you didn't get a chance to apologize to me?
Mm.
Something could still happen to me now and you don't get a chance to apologize. But and a lot of times I'm very I pay attention to that now, more so now than ever. That I always be mindful of the last thing that I say. Most of the time, I try to tell people that I love them, especially my son, even though he may be, doing something. I may not have to tell him to do something a couple times, but I always, the very last thing in the morning and at night, we always tell each other, we love you, love you. I always say that's the last thing I say. So we have to be mindful of the very last thing you say to a person. I have things that were said to me that was very hurtful. And I was just thinking about it today. Like, if something were to happen to me, then what? And then it's like a lot of times we lose loved ones. And, you know, when you're gone, you're crying out, you're apologizing. They can't hear you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think sometimes it's better just not to say anything. Like for me, even though shutting down is not healthy, sometimes for me, it's best to shut down so you don't say the wrong thing,
Right.
especially when you're hurting or saying the wrong thing out of anger.
Hmm.
You want to be mindful of those things. So,
Yeah. I had a friend that we had an altercation, and some things were said, and on my behalf, I'm always positive. I'm trying to stay positive. And I didn't say anything out the way because I'm like you never know what could happen. We could leave here right now and something happens to either one of us. So, I'm always thinking about that.
mhm,
And this person happened to, say some very hurtful things, and we didn't speak for at least a year after, and this person passed.
Oh no.
And I was trying to figure out how to deal with that. I was trying to figure out what could I have done, or what could I have said, or should I have reached out, or I've had a lot of questions within myself, feeling as if, hey, I did something wrong, which it's not a good feeling. But definitely, you definitely have to give people their flowers while they are here, because when
Wow.
they are gone, and especially if it's bad blood left between y'all, it's definitely like the worst feeling in the world, because
Mm-hmm.
you could never change it. There's
Right.
nothing you could say.
And sometimes we have to apologize even if we're not in the wrong. I find myself saying I apologize even when I was the one that was wrong. It's just that I didn't want there to be, like you said, the bad blood. Even though I was owed an apology, I apologized to that person. I apologize, and I said, well, I don't want things to end this way. Or if we don't talk, even if we don't talk ever again, I don't want it to be like we end on a bad note. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I take all of that into consideration. It's crazy. And I'm sorry that you had to do that. That you had to that is like that's not a good feeling.
Right.
And I'm thinking back now, that's how I felt when my friend wanted to spend time with me and I encouraged him to go to that party and he was killed. I felt bad and I still feel bad. But, a friend of mine that's a grief counselor, she said to me, like, you can't blame yourself. What was supposed to happen, what's going to happen. But, sometimes I just still can't shake it because I
Hmm.
just feel like they should have been with me. You know what I
Right.
mean? And even sometimes with when people are killed in car accidents, you wonder, well, wait, well, maybe if they hadn't wanted to go to the store or to go back out, I mean, you know what I mean? It just, I don't know. It's a lot to think about. So that's why sometimes when you go into these, I know for me, when I go into these shells and you start thinking about a lot of things, you think about some of the wrong
Oh
things.
yeah. Oh yeah.
The devil will play in your mind and just you be like, well, what if, you think about all the what ifs. But
Hmm.
what we have to do, like I was saying, saying throughout the podcast, give people their flowers, love on them while they're still here, appreciate them,
Hmm.
and go where you are celebrated. Sometimes it's best to go where you're celebrated, not just tolerated. And a lot of times we're in situations or go places where we're just tolerated and you're not celebrated.
Mm.
And there's people that you celebrate, but in the background, they're not celebrating you.
Right.
And you have to understand that not everybody is for you. You
Hmm.
have to understand that not everybody is going to like you. And you have to understand that some people that you want to see them win, you want to see them success. That's not always the case. They're not always going to be, want to see you win. So you have to accept that. But no matter what, always be kind to people. Always treat them with kindness. Now, there's some people that you can love them to death
Mm.
and never speak to them again.
Mm. Yes. There are.
You can
Hmm.
love them to death and never speak to them again. Like I would never wish anything bad on anyone. So with that being said, I want to say my final thoughts are going to be I'm gonna love like I've never been hurt. I'm gonna forgive quickly like I always do. And just let things go because this week has really taught me that within a blink of an eye, not just this week, but over the past 2 or 3 years have been teaching me, especially with the back to back deaths this week though, it's teaching me that life is so precious. And a
Yes.
lot of times we always say that life is short. This week right here really showed me how short it really is.
Yeah.
And there's one particular death that kind of, and we'll talk about it when I sign off because like I said, I don't want to get emotional. But there's one particular death in particular that is taking me a minute to get over.
Mhm.
Um, it's taken me a while to get over. Um, but we have to take things as they are. And like I said, just, just love people and just, just pray for better days. And I want people to stop hating for no reason,
Mm.
because you see so many people that are disliking people based on what you heard about somebody. You're disliking somebody based on some gossip. You're disliking this
Yes.
person, or for no apparent reason. I want people to
Yes.
stop doing that. I want you to think for yourself,
Yeah.
and stop, get to know people for
For
yourself.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. You realize, do you realize I have so many people, which is crazy, that don't like me. And I'm like, well, why, well, this person said this about, I'm like, really? And then when you took the time to get to know me, like, you're nothing like they said you. You have to be mindful of who are telling you these things. There's
Exactly.
some people that can be an undercover hater, and
Mhm.
just because, and it's crazy to me how somebody can not like you, but they want to get everybody on their team. Well, I don't like Desire, so let me see how many people I can get not to like her too. That's crazy.
And now I must admit that I hope you women out there don't take this the wrong way, but that is something that women do. They
Mm,
employ each other to be on the team of hating the same person, and
crazy.
that's not a good thing.
It's not.
And like, yes, like you have to understand this person that's coming to you saying, oh, don't go to Tori because Tori don't know how to talk to people. Well, what did you say to Tori for her to talk to you how she talked to you? That don't have anything to do with me. So I mean, I'm gonna get to know her for myself. And that's
Right.
something that people they continue to do. And like I say, it definitely is a woman thing. We definitely do that. If we don't like someone, we employ other people to not like that same person. And we just have to learn how to get along and love each other and empower each other.
Right. I'm big on that. I'm big on empowering one another, and sisters as well as my brothers as well. I'm big on empowering one another, making sure everybody, I'm real big on supporting everyone. That's just my thing. I've always been that way, and I'm going to continue to be that way, because I'm not going to allow no situation or circumstance or anything to change me. And I'm going to look at let me see, my cousin. I meant to click on her comment earlier. Wait a minute, the mouse went. Did the mic go out? The mouse go out?
Someone said men do the same also.
They do.
Yeah, they do. They do. Men do. They really do. But like I said, don't take offense, but it's mostly women. We do that a lot.
A lot of times, is
It
men do it as well, and there's some men that can be just as petty as women.
Yes, there are. There are. But the only difference is women you can have a group of women and you have to have someone that's
Mhm.
like, "Ooh, look at her shoes." Or, "Girl, you see her hair." Or, "Ooh, why she got that lipstick on?" But you can have a group of men and it's never that. They're not, "Ooh, look at his shoes," or, "Why he got his hair cut like that." It's not like that. So it is women, we just have to do better and we just have to be better at,
Mhm.
coming together versus being so quick to throw the rock and hide the hand.
That part. Well, I was trying to click on my cousin's comment, but the mouse is not working for me. But she said, never start being who you are. Always be true to yourself. Don't let anyone stop your blessings.
Yes.
And then I can't pronounce the name because I can't bring it on the screen, but it's Kaba Christ
Jackson.
Jackson. Think about Jesus. They did the same thing. And like you said the comment was that men do the same thing. And they do, but I think women do it so much more.
Yes.
And it could be something totally simple, like you said, the hair, your shoes. It could be something totally different. So let's learn to really celebrate each other, because we're living in some really difficult times where we need to definitely just be loving on each other. Because, like I said, all this death. I mean, we just really need to pray and ask God to heal the land, because there's so much hatred and among people. There's so much animosity. There's just so much going on in the world. And I know a lot of things that's going on in the world is grief. But like I said earlier, the Bible is being fulfilled because it talks about place. It talks about families against families. It talks about all of these
Hmm.
things. But it just seemed like this time, like we've had viruses before, but it just seemed like this one
I
is
know.
it's
Yeah.
it's it's
It's
just
something. It's something about it.
so. I want to encourage people now. I don't know what anyone's particular belief is, but I just say to you, you got to have a higher power, and you got to have a personal relationship. For me, I believe in Jesus, and you have to have that personal. But like I said, I can't force what I believe on anyone else.
Mm.
But
Hmm.
I would say that you got to, if you don't know who God is, you've got to get to know Him
Hmm.
because you just never know. You never know when that time is coming. And I'm trying to see the comment. Lord, I can't pull the comments. The mic, the mouse stopped working on me.
Too many
Um,
leaders in one church.
2 minutes. Oh wow.
Too many leaders in one church. Yes, that is a big problem. Everybody wants to lead, and everyone is not leading material. Material. So
Yeah. But you got to have the right. You got to have the right leaders because the right leaders, you got to have the sheep to follow. I mean, but you have to be, right. And I can't see. This is, my mouse is not working, y'all. So I can't. I don't have my glasses. What's that last? Can you see that last comment?
yeah, they all believe in Jesus. They just can't prove it.
Oh wow, I don't. I don't know what that means. Thank you, Karen. You said praying for you and your family. Thank you so much. There's just been so much going on that it just need to need God to really move and heal the land. And there's so much going on. I just want people to genuinely love on each other and just
Right.
everybody just do the right thing. Because it's so easy to hate, but it's also easy to love. And loving is a beautiful thing. Loving is so beautiful. So I just want to encourage everyone that if you don't know God, get to know Him and to just love on people, whether they love you or not. I hear people say, and I've said this myself, I love you, and there's nothing you
You
can
can
do
do
about
about
it.
it.
Not a
Yes.
thing that you can do about it.
Yes.
But I want to see what we're gonna do about. I don't even know if I can end the show because the mouse is not working. Hold on. I don't even know what happened. Hold on.
Oh man.
Okay, there
There
it
it
is.
goes.
Okay. Now let me click on some of the comments. Okay. Kabaya Christ Jackson says, Our Father Lord's in minutes. Okay, I don't know what that means.
Our Father, Lords in minutes.
Can you interpret that? Because I don't know what that means. Kaba, please tell us what that means. 'Cause I have no
Yes.
idea.
Elaborate.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
And also elaborate on that they all believe in Jesus, but they can't prove it.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
And let me go back while my mouse is working. Let me see if there's any other comments I may have missed. Because I think you said the
Oh, they say use your wisdom. Oh, okay.
use my wisdom. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I have no idea where. I mean, I don't know exactly what that means, but
I see. It says hour as in time. Hour, Father. Lords in minutes is speaking of in time.
okay.
That's what I'm getting. It has something to do with time.
And he says, "Sons have knowledge, daughters have wisdom."
Mm.
Okay. Well, and then speaking of wisdom, one thing that I can say that we as any individual should never stop learning. We're
Right.
constantly learning the book. Life is a bunch of lessons that we learn daily.
Mm.
And he also says, "No man know the hour." Yes. Now I understand that as far as no one knows the day or the hour when he's coming back. And like I said, I'm a believer in Jesus. So I feel like he's definitely coming back. And I feel like I don't know, like so many other times. I remember when 1999 came and 2000 was coming in, people thought at that time the year's out to end. And here it is. I was just thinking the other day, I'm like, in 1999, we thought the world was going to end in 2000. Here we are 21 years later.
Right.
So I just say to just stay prepared because we don't know.
Yeah, people try to predict the end of the world coming tomorrow or the day after, but I mean, if you take the time to read Revelations, that don't happen in a day.
Mm, mm,
So
right.
it doesn't matter how much scientists, predict and come up with their numbers. It doesn't happen in a day. So it takes time. There are signs. You know, everything is just gonna go according to the plan. So
Absolutely.
instead of trying to figure out when is it going to end, I mean, just figure out what you need to be doing tomorrow or the next day or the next day. Like,
And live righteously.
yes,
Live righteously.
righteously, positively, faithfully, just have faith in general. When I was in the military, I was in the Marines, and
Oh, you was in the
our
Marines? Oh
yes,
God. That's the toughest one.
yes, and our motto was simplify, do or
Mm-hmm.
die. And it means always faithful. So you learn to live life faithfully and with honor, courage, and commitment. And those were our values. And I took that with me throughout life: honor, courage, and commitment.
You just taught me something. I see the Marines say I never knew what that meant. I'm be honest with you. I hear them say I never knew what that meant.
Yeah, semper fidelis, always faithful.
Wow. Let me go back to some of Kabiya's comment. He says, indeed, he said, when our Father, we only have minutes to get right with God. Then he says, think about it. And then he goes on to say, our hour, renew the mind. And he says, God doesn't live on time. We do. This is so true.
Exactly. He doesn't.
And Karen says, read the book of Proverbs about wisdom. I love the book of Proverbs. That's one of my favorite books of the Bible, Proverbs. And he says, I'm typing. I'm the typing pastor. Here is wisdom. Here is wisdom. Okay.
Okay.
I got
I
you.
got that. Yes.
I
I
got you.
like that
I
too.
like that. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna have to use that one.
Okay.
Now I clearly understood that, but like I said, want to end on a note because we're approaching the hour. So I want to thank everyone for watching. If you missed the beginning, watch the replay. And DeZiya, tell everyone your handles if they want to get in contact with you and how to reach out to you. Let me look at a couple more comments. No, this was, oh, he was just laughing. And if they want to get in contact with you on social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, tell everyone your social media handles so they can follow you because you're an awesome, you're an amazing person. Like I said, from the
Thank you so
day, the
much.
first time that I've met you, you've always been positive person. You
Right.
always gave off positive vibes. I've never. That's why I was like, I wonder, does she get mad? Do you get mad?
Well, as far as reaching out to me, my name is DeZiya Cartel on all platform, all social media. My music is out on all platforms. All music streaming platforms: iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, YouTube, etc.
Okay.
And also, oh, I actually have a new single dropping.
Okay.
Of course, I'm very different in general. This new song that's coming out is it's a spoken word that I took and I made into a song.
Okay.
So keep your eyes and ears out for that. And as far as do I get mad?
Do you get mad?
I try not to get mad because for me, I'm just, what's the point of allowing anger to take over? When you allow anger to take over, you're never in control. So as far as getting mad, I'm not gonna say I get mad. I get frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
I do. But as far as allowing my anger to take over. I don't allow that because you can't see what's coming.
Right.
You can't see what's coming when you're when you're so angry or when you're so mad or when you're blowing up. You know, you leave pretty much yourself vulnerable.
Right. And that's why it's best not to say anything when you're angry. Because you say the wrong thing and those words cannot be taken back.
Yes, that too.
And I'm
That too.
and let me look at this last comment. Oh wow, this is 119 studio equals 11 920 and 11. Okay. Alrighty then. I'm gonna figure that one out. And then he also says, see, we only had minutes to listen to you within the hour. He was speaking through you both. Well, thank you
Yes,
so
he
much.
was.
Thank you so much. And my cousin Karen says, great show. Everything was very well said in education. Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't already, those of you that are out there, make sure that you subscribe to the make sure you follow or like the Keep the Faith Facebook page. Follow Keep the Faith YouTube page. Also, make sure that if you're not already following the 119 Media Group page, follow and like their Facebook page, YouTube page, and also 119 Media Group is also on Instagram. So make sure, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think 119 is on TikTok.
Oh.
So make sure you follow 119 Media Group on all platforms. And I am grateful for my 119 family. Shouts out to all the podcasts under the umbrella of 119. There we have some amazing shows under the 119 umbrella. So make sure you check them out. And also let me check this last comment. Faith above your reason this season. Okay, that's good. That's really good. And if you would like to be a guest on the Keep the Faith podcast, you can contact me at 843-920-8124, or you can email me at faithisnecessary.com. Thank you all for watching. And DeZiya, thank you so much for coming on. You got to come back because, like I
Yes, I
said,
was just about to say, if y'all don't book y'all slot, I will be here. So y'all better book your slot.
and I definitely hear your accent now because I did not know where you was from, gal. I hear it now.
Yes.
You see, I'm trying to talk with an accent. No, I can't. No, I'm country. But I hear the accent now. I didn't even realize that you were from there. I never knew that. Yes. But now it's coming out.
I tried to mask it a lot, you know.
It's coming out today.
When I first came here, like I actually used to get teased.
Really?
Yes, for talking different. I had to take speech classes and everything. My teachers would be like, "Oh, we can't understand what you're saying," so I had to take speech classes, and so I had to learn how to talk proper. So.
But I hear the accent. It was coming out today, and like I said, I didn't know that you were a Marine as well. Marine is like the hardest one.
Yeah.
So
and they actually had to get a height waiver in order for me to even get in. Because I was like the shortest person.
Wow, that is interesting to know that you was Marine. Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, Davina.
A couple of interesting things about me. I drove truck as well. So and I was a CO and yeah, I've done some things.
Oh my God, you've done more than me in your 26 years than I have in my 45.
Yes.
Wow, that is great, girl. Yes. What? And how long? Let me ask you this. And I know we're supposed to be wrapping up, but how long did you stay in the military?
I was in for 2.5 years. I was medically discharged.
Okay.
I had a light stroke.
Oh no!
Thank God, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I had a light stroke. So
okay, but that is like the hardest branch of service. And like I said, you taught me today what simplify. I would hear people say it, but I honestly never knew what that meant. I said, well, is that, I guess it's a good thing. Everybody's saying it. This is a good thing. But I hear people, the Marines say that often. So, but thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Like I said, I will call on you. Like you said, if they don't get those slots,
I'll be here. Okay.
Well, thank you guys for watching. And like I said, if you missed the beginning, definitely watch the replay and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page and also the YouTube channel, and also subscribe to to the 119 Media Group Facebook page. Subscribe to the channel. Also follow them on Instagram. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Brian, aren't we on TikTok? 119 on TikTok as well? No? Okay. Okay. Well, just follow 119 Media Group, because we're we got some big things on the way. So thank you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
for watching, and we'll see you next time. And like
Spread.
all right, you guys, take care. Peace out.